Hello, everyone. We are starting a new section today. This is going to be topic four. Topic four, and we're looking for the rate of change papers in our binder. We are working on student activity sheet 1, the overview. Okay. So on the screen, you're going to see we've got Terrence, who is an excellent skateboarder. And over here in this bottom left-hand corner, we have a motion detector. So in case you're not familiar with motion detectors, they use ultrasonic waves to see if things are moving in its frame. And they can tell how far an object is from the detector, whether it's really close or far away or their movement. Okay. So we can move Terrence around the screen and see what the graph does, and we can go back and forward, and we're getting closer to the motion detector, and we're going to get far away from the motion detector, and it's all over a course of 10 seconds. Okay. So with this, we're going to go through some of these questions. So the first question here is to create a graph that shows Terrence moving away from the motion detector at a steady rate. Okay, so before we can do anything with the graph here, we need to understand what it means by steady rate. Okay, and what that means is that the graph rises and runs consistently at the same rate. Okay, so again, that means it rises. He goes up and over, or falls down and over. Okay. So if I look at the graph that I've created over here, this is not steady, guys. We go up and over, and then we go slow and then fast and slow and all the way up, down, all around. Okay. There's zero consistency to the graph. Okay. So they want you to create one where he's moving away. So that means that he would have to start over here at the motion detector. Okay, so I'm going to move him close to the motion detector, and they want him to go at a steady rate. So I'm going to move him, and what that means, we're going to go nice, slow, and steady. He's not as steady as I can get it here. Okay, meaning I'm not trying to go any faster or slower. Okay, so that's what it means by a steady rate. So you can see I have my graph here. And again, describing in words, Terrence begins at a set distance from the detector, which was right. It's not at zero. It's going to be a little bit above because he's not on top of the motion detector. Okay. And then he began moving away at a steady rate, meaning for every foot he got away from, or I should say, for every second that went by, he increased his distance at the same amount. It went up and over at the same. Think of it as steps on a staircase. Okay. So now we're going to reset my graph here. Okay. And they want us to create a graph. Whoops. I don't want the spotlight. Okay. I'm going to reset our graph, and this time they want the graph to include a time period where Terrence stands still. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take him back to the motion detector. So I'm going to bring him slowly out to about here, and I'm going to hold him still. And then I'm going to bring him out a little bit further, and then I'm going to hold him still. And then I'm going to bring out further, and then I'm going to hold him still for the rest of the time. Okay, so you can see every time this flattened out here, meaning time continued to go on, but Terrence didn't get further from the motion detector or closer. Okay, so again, I took a note here. When it says that they're standing still, that means that distance is not increasing or decreasing. So let's take a look at the graph that I drew. You can either draw the graph that I have here on my thing, or you can draw the one that's on the screen. And I said that Terrence begins at a set distance from the detector. Again, he's not at zero, meaning he's not on top of the detector. He's in front of it. So there is a little bit of distance there. He then increases his speed to move away, but then stops. And the distance did not go up nor go down. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn the page. Okay. This time, so same thing here. They want us to create a graph that shows Terrence moving towards the motion detector. So let me go ahead and reset it here. Okay, if he's going to move towards the motion detector, which is over here, that means we need to start him way out here. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about it. It doesn't have to be steady. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. He can jump around, but they want him moving towards the detector. So I'm going to move him towards the detector. And again, I'm just going to go nice and steady here. And we're going to have him take a break right here for a little bit and then go. Okay. So with this, again, guys, you can see because he started all the way over here, his distance was 8 feet. So his distance is starting up high. So that's kind of what my graph looks like here. And I said Terrence starts far away from the detector, and as time goes on, he moves closer, making the graph fall from left to right. Okay. So now I want you guys to think about the shape of the graph. Describe, that's going to be below. Okay. Describe how the skateboarder should move to match the graph. And then we're going to test it by trying to recreate our graph on the animation. Okay. So let's look at what this is. Let's see. Let me zoom in for you guys here. Their graph says that he's starting down here, going up, and then coming back down. Okay. Again, he's starting down here at 0, meaning at 0 seconds, he is right by the motion detector. And then he gets, as time goes on, he gets farther from the motion detector, but then he comes back. Okay. So over here, I said the skater starts at the motion detector and moves away. He slows down as he begins to turn back and then returns at a slightly faster rate. Okay, so I just want to take a second. Let's see if we can actually create that on here. Okay, so we'll see what I can do here. So he's going nice and steady and up. And then we're going to decide to come back down and go back again to the detector. Whoops, my mouse got a little stuck there at the end. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening there. So now we have another graph that they're going to show us, and we're going to describe what's happening, and we're going to test it on the screen. So over here, they want us to do a graph that starts way up here and moves down, okay? If you remember, what is up here, that is far away from the motion detector. So I'm going to reset this. To get my starting point up here, I have to bring Terrence this way. And it looks like in a really short amount of time, he gets really close to the detector, but then he kind of slows back down. So let's see if I can get this done here. So he's far away, and we're going to go, woo. Let me see if I can do that one again. Okay, so again, he's going to start far away. Here we go. Woo! And then we're, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I kind of bottomed off there at the end. So let's talk about what just happened. Whoa, my mouse is all over the place. Okay, so let's talk about what happened at that graph. Terrence the skater started at a distance from the detector, and really fast he moved closer to it, but then he slowed down as he neared it. Okay. Okay. So this way, what I want you guys to think about, what we talked about here. We investigated situations previously that involved rates of change. You've done this since about 5th grade. In this topic that we're going to be introducing here, you're going to build on our understanding of rates, and we're going to explore them of several different types of situations. So in this example, we just explored the rate of a skateboarder's distance from a motion detector compared to time. We may also compare things such as the cost of parking. So cost to park a car, if you're like in a city or even downtown South Bend, sometimes it costs to park a car. What is it based off of? Sometimes it's off of hours, sometimes it's off of minutes, but it's going to be off of time of some sort. Okay. When we're driving, the distance I drive, okay, given my speed. Okay, driving to school, I don't really hit that fast of speeds. But then there's days like when I have to drive out on the toll road, I get a lot further because I'm going a lot faster. Other things, I can relate to this, how quickly a child grows. So growth of a child over time. Okay. We can talk about in PE, we're talking about our heartbeats. If you do your little test there, okay, how fast your heart beats. So the number of beats a minute, number of heartbeats in a minute. That says minute, guys. Okay, so there's lots of things that involve a rate or a rate of change. And in this unit, we're going to look at a couple of them. We're going to talk about what they mean, how to find them, and how we can use them to determine other things. So with that, have a great day.